Chapter 745. Incomplete Immortal Move. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Fang Yuan planned to bring all 13 cloud coffins back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Because they had made the mountain pledge, not only did Langya Land Spirit not stop him, he even gave Fang Yuan 8 mortal killer moves. These killer moves are the key to unsealing the Immortal Killer Move's Sleeping Cloud Coffin. Remember the order that I told you. That is the only way to unlock the coffins. Otherwise, it will be destroyed along with the Gu Immortals inside. Before Fang Yuan left, Langya Land Spirit instructed him. Fang Yuan nodded, memorizing all of the mortal killer moves. These mortal killer moves had no names. Their only use was to act as the key to opening the coffins. But towards Cloud Path Gu Immortals, it had some reference value. Tai Bai. Yunsheng had cultivated Cloud Path on the side. Fang Yuan planned to give these mortal killer moves to Tai Bai Yunsheng for reference. Fang Yuan brought the 13 Gu Immortal captives back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land successfully. He first summoned Hu Immortal Land Spirit and asked for the latest news. Hu Immortal Blessed Land was doing well. Hu Immortal Land Spirit had been steadily doing what Fang Yuan had instructed her. She was progressively selling the Rockman in the Blessed Land and buying some fox groups. Hu Immortal herself was an enslavement path. Gu Immortal skilled at manipulating fox groups to fight. Her immortal aperture, Hu Immortal Blessed Land, was most suited to raise fox groups. By following this route, eventually, desolate beast-level fox groups would appear. It was a huge benefit. The profit was even higher than 3 transactions of Fang Yuan's Guts Gu. But this method took a long time to see effect. It needed a long, sustained effort. Hu Immortal was a lone cultivator. She was in a terrible state back then. After several earthly calamities, her finances collapsed, her losses could not be recouped, and her battle strength fell, eventually dying in the hands of the Blue Charm Lightning Shadow. The Gu Immortal's immortal aperture would experience calamities and tribulations at certain intervals. It was like rounds of challenges that strongly limited the number of Gu Immortals in the 5 regions. There was another huge obstacle, that was the limitation of lifespan. Back then, Hu Immortal had Donghun Mountain. She wanted to use this unique resource to generate great income for herself. Her method was a wise choice. Even though raising fox groups was in line with the proper management of Hu Immortal Blessed Land, the effect took too long to nurture. The longer it took, the more accidents could occur. Especially when Hu Immortal's circumstances were getting worse by the day, she could not afford to develop slowly. However, she did not have wisdom. Gu, she could not think of a method like using Airsec Gu. She could only use the Guts Gu to raise the number of Rockmen and sell the Rockmen. Fang Yuan had used this method before. There was not much benefit and it was very troublesome. The Rockman market was saturated. Why would it be as profitable as directly selling Guts Gu? Eventually, Hu Immortal failed and died in the earthly calamity. The fortune she left behind assisted Fang Yuan. At the crucial moment, it provided him with immeasurable help. Hu Immortal Blessed Land could be said to be Fang Yuan's initial startup fortune, the foundation of his rise. In his past life, Fang Yuan destroyed Hu Immortal Blessed Land in order to kill Feng Jinhuang. In this life, he became the owner of Hu Immortal Blessed Land. This was a wondrous contrast. Right now, since Fang Yuan could sell Guts Gu directly and had enough money, he could start to develop Hu Immortal Blessed Land again, going on the proper path that even the previous owner, Hu Immortal, could not accomplish, slowly accumulating fox groups and raising desolate beast foxes. This business was a long-term plan. Fang Yuan was in no rush, and he was not looking for short-term profits in this aspect either. After looking over the situation of Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan placed his attention on Immortal Crane Sect and Combat Immortal Sect. Hu Immortal Blessed Land was Immortal Crane Sect's subsidiary force in name. He had to pay some attention to Immortal Crane Sect. As for his younger brother, Gu Yue Fang Zheng, who was inside Immortal Crane Sect, Fang Yuan had stopped paying attention to him long ago. A mere mortal Gu master. Even if he was rank 5, what could he do? Just like back then on Qingmao Mountain, as long as he did not hinder Fang Yuan's path, he would not even bother to stomp on him. He was too busy. Mortals were like ants. There was no need to waste time and effort to stomp on them. That dear brother of mine is probably dead now? Fang Yuan had a guess. Earlier, Fang Zhong had used mutual sense immortal goo to connect with Fang Yuan. This allowed Fang Yuan to gain much information, learning about Fang Zheng's predicament and seeing that he was in a blood pool, and the sad sight of demon flowers growing on his body. During this period of time, Immortal Crane Sect's situation was quite calm. They successfully resolved the problem of Great Heavenly Sword Sect. Great Heavenly Sword Sect had a newly emerged third Gu Immortal and was ready to get rid of their status as a subsidiary force of Immortal Crane Sect. Immortal Crane Sect was a righteous sect, even though their strength greatly exceeded Great Heavenly Sword Sect. Because of the rules of the righteous path, they could not attack forcefully. They could only recruit the Gu Immortal in Great Heavenly Sword Sect. Eventually, they succeeded in recruiting a Gu Immortal in Great Heavenly Sword Sect. It was that new third Gu Immortal. Tar. Great Heavenly Sword Sect controlled limited resources. It was tough enough to provide for two Gu Immortals. A third was too much for them. The newly advanced Gu Immortal was given alluring conditions by Immortal Crane Sect, joining them in the end. Great Heavenly Sword Sect lost the crucial person, and their strength fell. They no longer had the foundation to detach from Immortal Crane Sect. They could only sign the subsidiary contract once again. However, even though Immortal Crane Sect stabilized the situation in the Northwest area, they were heavily suppressed in the reincarnation battlefield. Lei Tan, who was the Gu Immortal stationed there, was heavily injured. He had no choice but to return to the sect to recuperate. Reincarnation Battlefield was the publicly recognized #1 battlefield killer move in the world. It was set up by Paradise Earth, Immortal Venerable himself. The 10 great ancient sects had taken control of this area for many years, engaging in fierce competition. Immortal Crane. Sect's attention went back to the reincarnation battlefield again. For the time being, they had no energy to think of new ideas to deal with Hu Immortal Blessed Land. He Feng Yang, who was in charge of taking down Hu Immortal Blessed Land, had been busy recently in trying to find a way to heal his beloved Nine Palace Crane, Little Nine. This was undoubtedly good news to Fang Yuan. He could attend the auction in peace without caring too much about Central Continent. Fang Yuan paid attention to Combat Immortal Sect next. From some unimportant-looking news from Combat Immortal Sect, Fang Yuan sensed something strange. This news could deceive the other 9 great ancient sects for the time being, but to Fang Yuan, who was aware of the inside story, he could tell what was going on. It seems that Combat Immortal Sect has indeed deployed the battle strength of Gu Immortals to attack Starry Sky Grotto Heaven, Fang Yuan thought. What he did not know was, after he left, Immortal Monkey King Shi Lei was trapped inside Starry Sky Grotto Heaven. Combat Immortal Sect sent 3 Gu Immortals to reinforce him. But after they entered Starry Sky Grotto Heaven, they met with some obstacles as well. In this case, the Dream Realm in Starry Sky Grotto Heaven has been exposed to Combat Immortal Sect, the Dream Realm of Star Constellation. Immortal Venerable has a connection to the predictions of Great Dream. Immortal Venerable, Combat Immortal Sect will definitely attack the Grotto Heaven in secret. I have to make good use of my time. The advantages of my rebirth are shrinking rapidly. Fang Yuan felt a sense of urgency again. Ever since he started selling Guts Goo and had made contact with all the large and small forces in Central Continent, it had become much easier for him to gather information compared to before. But this information was very general. There were no secrets involved. It could not compare to Fairy Li Shan's intelligence, those that came from Northern Plains. Fang Yuan did not mind this at all. Many Gu Immortals placed importance on collecting information. Every year, they would invest a huge amount of funds to search for critical information or to sustain the avenue of their source of information. But Fang Yuan did not need it. He saved a huge sum from this because with his rebirth advantage, he had a lot of intelligence about his previous life compared to the information that these Gu Immortals obtained through hard work and resources. It was much more comprehensive and important. After confirming the situation around Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan was at ease. He looked at Tai Bai Yunsheng's letter as well as Heilulun's situation. Tai Bai Yunsheng was currently exploring Yulu Blessed Land with Shark Demon and some others. Immortal Gu landscape as before had completely restored Yulu Blessed Land's entrance. It made Tai Bai Yunsheng gain the favor of the others, and he successfully mixed in with the exploration group. As for Hei Lu Lan, she had recently undergone tribulation. Kim. Gu immortals faced calamities and tribulations once in a while. Rank 6. Gu immortals faced one earthly calamity every 10 years. 10 years was not in terms of the time of the 5 regions. It was the time in the Gu immortals' immortal aperture. Because the branch of the river of time was different in every immortal aperture, the time flow was also different when compared to the outside world. Hei Lu Lan went through immortal ascension with the great strength true martial physique. She obtained a super-grade blessed land. The flow of time in her blessed land was extremely fast, even faster than Tai Bai Yun Sheng, who was a time path Gu immortal. It was at 1 to 38. That was to say, 1 year in the 5 regions would be 38 years in Hei Lu Lan's blessed land. During this time, she would need to undergo 3 earthly calamities, with only 2 years left until the 4th. More than half a year had passed in 5 regions, time since the destruction of Imperial Court blessed land. Hei Lu Lan's blessed land had already undergone 2 earthly calamities. This was the 3rd. Each tribulation was a trial, but Hei Lu Lan had Fairy Li Shan's help, and with several immortal Gu in her possession, if she met with any real difficulties, she could ask Fang Yuan for help. No news from her currently meant good news. After confirming the situation of the people around him, Fang Yuan had no more reservations. He fully committed to his plans. He calculated only half a month was left until the auction in Hu Immortal Blessed Land because the flow of time was 5 times as fast. That was approximately slightly less than 2.5 months. The transaction of guts. Gu had to continue. At the same time, Fang Yuan planned to use the light of wisdom to try to follow up on that burst of inspiration that had emerged earlier. Time passed quickly. 2 months went by in Hu Immortal Blessed Land's time. Fang Yuan came out from the underground cave with a satisfied look. He had made great achievements in using the light of wisdom for deductions this time. He successfully fused the details of poison breath and harboring malicious heart to form a new, incomplete immortal move. Fang Yuan named it Poison Spit. Using immortal Gu woman's heart as the core, it was called Immortal. But this was not complete yet, because each time it was activated, large amounts of poison would remain in the body, causing backlashes due to the toxicity. Thus, this was only an incomplete move. With my immortal zombie body, I can activate Poison Spit 3 times. More than that, and the remaining poison would be able to kill even my soul. The 2 killer moves are the crystallization of my wisdom path and poison path attainment. It is a solid foundation. With the unlimited inspiration brought about by the light of wisdom, I could use this foundation to create something new. Fang Yuan had already used the light of wisdom many times. The more he used it, the more he felt the benefits and convenience of the light of wisdom. He could tell that wisdom Gu had immense value and an even more incredible effect.